Liminal spaces are often described as empty or abandoned, but I've been wondering, could a place be full of people yet still have the same psychological effect as if it were completely devoid of life? This story is a little different than usual. Everything you're about to hear is based on true events. I'm standing before a set of double doors, metal painted white, silver panic bars, the kind of doors you might find in the emergency exit of a school gym or a big box grocery store. I've seen these doors somewhere before, maybe in another building or something, but I can't put my finger on exactly where or when. Something about them makes me want to walk through. A damp, cool breeze wafts out from the gap under the cold metal frame. Suddenly, whatever I was doing before seems irrelevant. What was it anyway? I look at the stark white doors and they remind me of a hospital. Was I going to see a loved one who was injured? Am I on my way home from a movie theater? Am I heading into a work meeting? I honestly couldn't tell you. All I know is, wherever I was going, this doorway caught my eye and stopped me in my tracks. I don't know why, but I've just got to walk through. I take a few steps and push it open, revealing a vaguely familiar sight. At first, it just seems like a large, dark room, as if I'm stepping into an open warehouse in the dim of night. But then I look up and realize something off. My eyes search the darkness above my head, trying to catch a glimpse of something in the gloam, anything to orient myself and understand the scale of the room I just entered. Some stray light reflecting off a rafter, the feeble outline of a skylight, a sprinkler head. All I see is inky, cosmic darkness where a ceiling should be. I look into the distance, my eyes attracted by movement and small pops of flesh-toned colors. Not far away, under a dim cone of light, coming from some unseen source, are dozens of people. I start walking toward the light. The ground is lined with square white tiles, like you might find in a subway station or public bathhouse. They stretch out as far as my eyes can see. It dawns on me that this room is impossibly large, far too big to fit inside any man-made building. As I get closer to the light, I notice rows of tiled walls, each one about waist high. People shuffle down the aisles listlessly. I move closer. The people are all naked. There are toilets everywhere. The short walls separate them into dozens, maybe hundreds of stalls, each one containing a slightly dingy, large tank toilet. Some stalls are occupied, but everyone sitting on a toilet is visible for all to see. What a strange setup, I think to myself. I start to realize I could definitely go for a good bathroom break right about now. Maybe I should grab a clean stall to use, but no matter where I look, I can't seem to find one. Looking further into the reaches of the massive space, the stalls disappear into a misty white void. Beyond the mist, I hear the raining drone of shower heads. I walk on into the wet fog. With each step, I think about how lonely it feels in this place. Despite the people meandering about, the place feels like an open maw. The people might as well not be there at all. The frigid blackness above makes me uneasy, isolated. Soggy shoulders brush past me as I go. I make it through the foggy veil and find the showers. A handful of mindless denizens stand under the streams like sleepwalkers. No urgency or purpose. I approach one of them, an older woman with stringy brown hair. I examine the blank stare in her eyes as she seems to look right through me. As I return her gaze, the mist covers me and slowly, I wake up in my bed. Hey there, my friend. Mr. X Dreams here. Before you say it, I know it's been a while. I hope you're doing well. I can't complain myself. Doing pretty good. I also want to thank this video's sponsors, Ellie, Dr. Cal, Zucker, and Tariko. I started the story the way I did because I wanted to give you something akin to the sensation I have whenever I have this dream. A sort of waking up mid-moment, not knowing how you got where you are, but really not questioning it either. If you've seen the movie Inception, you know what I mean. What I want to talk about today is a phenomenon I thought, very wrongly, was unique to me. What I just described to you, that unsettling, bizarre place, is known to some as the infinite toilet dimension, a dreamscape that seems to be nestled somewhere in the collective consciousness of humanity, given the number of people who claim to have been there. No two experiences are exactly alike, but they do share an intriguing number of details, often stark white, or sometimes pink or magenta, tiled surfaces, endless rows of toilet stalls, disturbing inhabitants, or haunting emptiness. I've had this dream more times than I can count. In fact, I've developed a theory that no matter where I am in any dream, there's almost always a set of double doors hidden somewhere that leads to this mysterious place. Sometimes I find the doors in the bowels of a building I happen to be in. Others, the large industrial double doors are misplaced, lodged into somewhere one wouldn't expect, like the side of a mountain or inside a single-family apartment. No matter the situation, whenever I open these doors, the same impossible space awaits me on the other side. Each time I have the dream, the variables are slightly different. There may be crowds of mindless naked people wandering around, lazily scooting past each other down narrow corridors. Sometimes when I enter the tiled room, there's not a soul in sight. Sometimes a mysterious cold white light illuminates the area from some unseen source. Other times, the place is cloaked in twilight with only faded hints of what lies hidden inside. Imagine walking into a dark bathhouse, barely able to see anything. But when your eyes begin to adjust to the dim light, you suddenly can make out silhouettes of motionless, naked people standing all around you. Yeah, it's quite the experience. I don't recommend it. I never realized this was something other people dreamed of until one fateful night, when I was cleaning up the kitchen with my 2 children. My son began to describe a strange dream he had. He said he walked through a door into a long, dark hallway, lined with a seemingly infinite number of toilet and shower stalls, pale tiled walls reaching no higher than his elbow. Walking back and forth among the stalls like mindless drones, he saw shadowy humanoid figures. He said he'd been to this place many times. Just as my eyes were starting to light up, making the connections between the dream worlds we had explored, my daughter shouted out and began to describe a dream of her own. She spoke of a gas station restroom door that opened up to a small, cramped space. She had to crouch to enter the room. It seemed small from the outside, but once inside, she found a space that seemed to go on forever. An uncomfortably low, almost claustrophobia-inducing ceiling, but no visible wall in the distance. Far too large a room to logically fit into the small gas station she had walked into. Along the sides, countless toilet stalls, with walls too short to conceal the people using them. Taken aback, I told them about the dream I just told you, one example out of many I've had. Together, we decided to look a little further into it. When I did, I came across this video by one of my favorite YouTube creators, a fellow by the name of Shrouded Hand. Shrouded Hand posted a video about 2 years ago entitled The Infinite Toilet Dimension. In his video, he described his own toilet dimension dreams, and even discovered a variety of other accounts of this bizarre realm of the subconscious. Reddit posts, online articles, forums, dozens if not hundreds of people describing places with eerily similar features. I'll link his video in the description so you can check it out for yourself later. It's a great watch, trust me. Before I go, there's one more thing I want to tell you in case it becomes relevant later. The last time I visited the infinite toilet realm, things were dramatically different. I usually see the white double doors hidden in plain sight in a random wall somewhere in my dream world. But one day, where I was expecting to find those doors, there was a gaping hole in the wall instead. Next to the hole, appearing to stand guard, there was a soldier in combat garb, complete with body armor, a helmet and rifle. He paid me no mind as I walked past him to peer into the black void. Inside, I saw faint red lights illuminating the broken remains of a familiar tiled floor. The ground and walls appeared to have been blasted away by great force, crumbled, giving way to absolute darkness. Long strands of yellow and black striped caution tape were tied to mangled guardrails near the precipice of the ruin. They fluttered in the cold, hollow winds that gently coaxed me into the doorway. It was as if the infinite toilet dimension had been shattered, destroyed. I gave into the lulling pull of the breeze and stepped into the darkness. Somehow my feet landed on solid ground. Inside, I felt a freedom I never felt before in my life, like I was walking on the moon. The gravity was somehow lessened. I was able to run and jump faster and higher than ever. Nothing lit my path except for the red lights that lined the shattered remains of the walls. Before long, I saw a small shadow hiding in the darkness. The voice of a little boy spoke to me, laughing. He told me I was stuck there now, wherever there was, and he said he wouldn't let me out unless I told him a ghost story he had never heard before. Thankfully, he must have been bluffing because I awoke shortly after he said that. I know that last visit got a little weird, but hear me out. I feel like maybe somehow that entity, that little shadow boy, was responsible for ruining the dreamscape, even bending or breaking the rules of gravity and inertia there. I wonder if he only did that to my little corner of the infinite toilet dimension, or if perhaps he was able to damage the realm for everyone. I'd be curious to know if any among you have had this dream. Most of the posts I've come across talking about it are from years ago. October 2023 was the last time I ever saw that place, and I'm not sure I ever will again. So tell me, my friend, what do you think this all means? Have you ever been to the bizarre toilet realm in your dreams? If you want to hear more about this topic, check out Shrouded Hand's video linked in the description and tell him I sent you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been wanting to tell you about it for quite a while now. I know I've been missing for a long time, but as I'm writing this, my heart is touched by the words of encouragement and people missing me over the past few months since I've been absent. You all will never truly know how much your care and concern means to me, how much it motivates me to keep being creative. I want you all to know that I am well, and I'm working on many interesting creative projects, several of which are actually beyond YouTube. But you always remind me to never forget about my little band of dreamers, and I appreciate you for that. I promise, whenever the stars align for me and I find the time to make a video, it'll be something I loved making, which I believe to be worth your time and attention. I would settle for nothing less. Since we spoke so much about toilets today, the code word for this video is number 2. Use it in a comment down below. That way I'll know you're subscribed and listened to the entire video, and it would be much appreciated. Until next time, my dear friends, I'm Mr. X, and may your nights be full of dreams. All right. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, don't forget to like and share. If you made it to the very end, you're exactly the kind of subscriber I'm looking for. Don't forget to turn on those notifications. That way, you can catch the live show and discuss the stories with me. Your input might even appear in my next video. Last thing, if you heard a code word after the story, type it in a comment down below so I know who the real dreamers are. Take care, my friend. Until next time.